What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where today I want to talk about more position competition. And this time we're going to move to the offense. We talked about the secondary, we talked about the defensive front. And this time I just want to talk about the tight end position and what we have going on. We have a bunch of guys there, and a lot of guys that we've drafted over the last couple of years. Seems like every year right now we're drafting a tight end. And that trend stopped this year because we've drafted so many, we have so many guys that have potential. But which one of these guys with potential is going to take that next step and be the guy for us going into the future? So you look at what we have to work with. We have Jelani Woods, Kylan Granson, Drew Ogletree, Will Mallory, and Mo Alley Cox. So just those five guys, like there are other tight ends on the roster, but these are the five guys that we're talking about, the five guys that we expect to go into the season with. So at this point, you look at what we're looking at with these guys. I think Marley Cox usually, is in the starting lineup for a run blocking reason. Glenn Grant's the next guy up because he's been here the longest and he has the most experience. But you look behind those two, and you have Jelani Woods, who could be a monster, Drew Tree, who could be a monster, Will Mallory, who showed some promise last year. So we'll see what happens. Mo Alley Cox and his situation is really interesting. People talking about, is he even going to be here by the time the season starts? And again, because he's a run blocking tight end, it feels like there's a good chance he is going to be here, is able to work parts of the scheme well. Again, very talented when it comes to run blocking. So they could want to keep him there for that. The most receptions he's ever had in a year in his career is 31, but he is a good end zone thrower. That's a good thing about Molly Cox. When you get down near the end zone, he's able to put it in there. Even in a year where he had 13 catches, he had 3 touchdowns. So this is a guy that's able to find the end zone even when he's not getting a bunch of touches. So you have Molly Cox again. Kylan Granson has had some up and down in his career. Never really been a star, but he's good. When he's on the field, he's a pretty good receiving tight end. Right, his rookie year, he only ends up with 11 catches on 15 targets. And then the last 2 seasons are very similar, where he had 31 catches and 30 catches, had 300 yards, and then 368 yards. Now, he does only have the 1 touchdown in his career, which was a pretty big deal this past year. Kylan Granson finally getting a touchdown in 2023. So, Kylan Granson can move the chains sometimes, but never really consistent enough playmaker to be a big deal for us. It's just the way it is. So that's why we look at these other guys. You look at Jelani Woods in 2022, right? His rookie season. He ends up with 25 catches on 40 targets. He also has 3 touchdowns, 2 of which came against the Chiefs in the game that we ended up beating the Chiefs. So what we saw from Jelani Woods in his rookie year and the limited action that we saw him, and the team being as bad as it was in 2022, like it was promising enough that everybody thinks that this is the guy that can be the next guy at tight end, right? The next star in the NFL at tight end. And we got him. He just got to be able to stay on the field, right? Had the hamstring injuries last year, but he's had plenty of time to rehab. Didn't play at all last year. Now going through the offseason, he looks good. The training videos I've seen of him, he looks good. He got through OTAs with no problem. So hopefully we're able to get through training camp with no problem. Get Jelani Woods in the lineup because, of course, somebody of his size, right? 6'7", 200 some odd pounds. If you see the videos of him, like with his shirt off, he looks like Derrick Henry, but he's bigger than Derrick Henry. So Jelani Woods, I'm very pumped to get him back in the lineup this year. It's going to be great to have him, see him in the offense, being a weapon in that offense with everything we have going on with the receivers, the running back, the quarterback, just everything about this offense could be really exciting, really explosive. We'll see if Jelani can stay healthy because then you have Drew Ogletree, right? Even if all these tight ends are splitting time, Drew Ogletree definitely showed promise, right? And he's obviously going to be staying on the team. The Chargers against him got dropped. And last year, he only ends up with 9 catches for 147. But it's another one of these things where these young guys are showing a lot of promise, right? And again, physical nature of him, right? Drew Ogletree is a big dude. He's like 6'6", right? Because he's so big and because he's so athletic, having him on the field creates major mismatches for teams. So hopefully he's able to come back, stay on the field. We'll see what we see of him. Just need one of these guys to take over, right? Will it be Will Mallory? Will Mallory came in, made some plays last year, ends the year, his rookie season with 18 catches, 207 yards, no touchdowns. He had some flash plays, obviously, against Atlanta, game we lose. He has 4 catches, 47. That was his best game statistically, unless you count the 5 catches, 46, basically the same game against the Bengals. So in games where we're getting blown out, Will Mallory was doing good. So we'll see what kind of role he has this year. Again, this tight ends, like this, what we're looking for is for somebody to come out and be a star. Yes, there can be a rotation. There can be, a couple of good guys. We need to see, are one of these guys going to really take off? And that's going to be what we're watching throughout training camp, is which one of the tight ends is separating himself, right? All the people that are going to watch training camp day in, day out, what are they talking about? We're going to watch all the little things and try to figure out who's really winning this competition. I'm sure coach is going to be asked about it plenty during training camp. We're going to keep an eye on this competition, see if Jelani Woods can become Jelani Woods that we know he can, or that we hope that he can, or is that going to be Drew Ogletree, another physical specimen? Is he going to be able to do it? What's Kylan Granson going to be able to do in the last year of his rookie contract? Where there's so much that we can see. Hey, is Mo Cox going to make it throughout training camp? People saying he could be cut before training camp, could be cut during training camp as a cap casualty, right? Save like $6.2 million or something like that if you cut Mo Cox. So we'll see what happens. So much to keep an eye on. Training camp coming up fairly soon. Got a little bit of time before it hits, but coming up soon. And with training camp coming up, there has been some discussion about a new rule possibly coming for the NFL, a new way for the offseason to go. We're going to talk about that here in a little while. So make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you get notified when that video drops, and any other content that we have on this channel. Make sure you get notified for it. Of course, I appreciate you joining me for another video. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.